Colin Shoei and Jacob Robinson back with you from Atlanta High School as we get ready for game number 2 of 2. It's the boys varsity matchup between the Atlanta Hornets and the Green City Gophers. Jacob, we've already talked about it a little bit tonight. This is a game that both teams and both coaches have had circled on their calendar from the word go. They could have met at the Novinger tournament 2 weeks ago. They missed each other, and now we have a regular season matchup here in the Tri-County North between these two programs.
And anytime you get a close matchup that is hyped as a potential conference championship preview, that makes this ever more exciting. We have fans behind us. We got fans in front of us. Two teams that know each other. They're familiar with each other's style of play. And like both coaches talked about on our pregame show, you can't ask for a better stage like this.
Green City coming in 5-0 on the season, a little bit below their average from years past. It's something that Coach Ayers has mentioned. They're still a little bit of a work in progress. They lost a couple key scorers in Grant O'Haver and Aaron Peebler from last season, but and also losing Ty Hall, their key three-point shooter, to a broken ankle in the preseason jamborees affect them. The same applies for Atlanta. Two big scorers last year, their two go-to scorers, Roman Phillips and Landon Gilwin, both graduate. And it's been on the onus of 4 big juniors that are all starting tonight to really get going and be those linchpins. They got a lot of confidence. These kids have played together really since they were pretty much in first, second grade, but it's a little bit different when some of these guys who weren't starters now have had to merge into those starting roles.
And in a game like this that's well-built, you have to make sure you come out with the intensity and the aggression, make the first contact, be the first hit, make the first foul, make the first shot, and start this game on the right foot.
Atlanta and Green City set to tip off. It'll be J.J. White, the hero of the last meeting between these two schools, against the all-world track star, Asher Bugs Tipton. Bugs Tipton will outleap him, and it is Green City basketball to begin things going right to left on the radio dial. They're in their black uniforms with gold trim. Drive right in on right wing, and Bugs Tipton finishes one off with a speed burst.
And any zone defense that Atlanta employs tonight, you got to make sure, find 12 at every given possession.
White sprints baseline. They swing it out high now. Herska backing in. Tries to kick it out for Sawyer Nelson. Ball stolen away by Caden Johnson. Out to Bugs Tipton. Drives in on right wing. This time cut off by a pair of Hornets. And a whistle, and they're going to get a foul there. I thought J.J. White had ripped that one clean, but they say he got Bugs Tipton's arm, and that'll be an early foul on one of the mainstays of this Atlanta roster, J.J. White.
And in the same, at the same time when you saw Hatcher get double teamed in the girls game, you're going to see a lot of double teams coming Bugs Tipton's way.
It's a bounce pass by Johnson, works it over on right wing now to Ivan Littrell, younger brother of Brooke Littrell. We didn't get a chance to really mention her during the girls game. Here's a drive up and under move, and a bucket finished off by Caden Johnson. Good start for the unbeaten Green City Gophers, coming in ranked 4th in Class 1. 4-0 Green City leading. Looking for an open man is Mason Reed. He's surrounded, able to shovel it over for Spearman. Now it is Nelson. Big little give and go. Nelson, right-handed layup, good, and he draws the foul. That is a beautiful give and go with Sawyer Nelson finishing it off.
And Green City rather, is playing a lot of aggressive up-the-line deny defense. You're going to see a lot of backdoors open, a lot of pass, a lot of face cuts if you want to be successful for Atlanta.
Nelson's free throw rolls off the side. Rebound grab by Bugs Tipton. Sprints right through the lane, stripped to the ball, got it back, and finishes strong on the left block.
Going from coast to coast for Bugs Tipton. You can see why he's going to be a matchup nightmare for this Atlanta team. Don't try to match speed with speed. Just match his speed with your physicality. That's going to be the easiest way to curb his offense.
Mason Reed, the basketball, tries driving from right wing, gets hacked and whacked as he goes his way to the lane. Foul called on Xander Salas. And it'll be an inbounds play for Atlanta on the baseline. Real quick, want to thank some of our sponsors, the Green City R1 Schools of Green City, Farm Bureau agent Kellen Hatcher of Sullivan County. Inbounds goes to White, spinning on Bugs Tipton, tries to feed him, open man. No one was open, ball stolen away. Caden Hatcher races the other way. Hatcher slams on the brakes, bounces for Bugs Tipton. Up against 2 Hornets, powers a shot up, left it short, and the rebound collected by Reed. Big stop for the Atlanta defense early on, trailing 6-2.
I like how Bugs Tipton's going to establish his offensive game. He's going to go to the basket every time and make the defense sag off of him before he starts making jumpers.
Nope, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, sometimes you don't get that from players. They want to establish with their shots early, but if they don't stop you going to the basket, why stop if you're Bugs Tipton?
Tumbling to the deck was Spearman. He draws a foul on Green City before a shot attempt. So triggering from the baseline is Reed. Bounces for Spearman. Back to Reed. Reed turns against Salas. Throws it out now to J.J. White. Guarded by Johnson. Gets a screen out high. That comes from Spearman. Spearman the basketball. Turning. Bump off. Shot off the back iron. No good. Good defense and rebound by Green City's Ivan Littrell. Up to Xander Salas. Cut off at the free throw line. Throws left wing Hatcher. Hatcher bounces to Bugs Tipton. Surrounded. Kick back out. Three ball. Hatcher. Yes, sir. Caden Hatcher is a player Coach Ayers highlighted at the start of the season. Needed more from him on the offensive end. He's delivered here early in the year for the Gophers.
And with that penetration and kick, you're going to get a lot more open looks that way. He's going to get going.
Good feed by White, but the shot up no good by Spearman. That was blocked. Other way, Bugs Tipton racing ahead. Bump off. High glass. Got it to fall. Bugs Tipton, 6 big points early for the Gophers. The lead is 9 for Green City. Big response on the other end as J.J. White drains the straightaway three.
Love the energy so far, even by Atlanta. Just because they're down early, you still see the passion, the aggression. They want to get this stop. They want to get this defensive stop.
These are two teams that love to push the pace of a basketball game. It's a track meet. Bugs Tipton on right block lays one up and in. I think he's a perfect 4 for 4 from the field here,
Yes,
Jacob.
he is. There was one miss early, but he's doing a really good job of establishing his game, getting to that paint. Really good footwork, and you don't see that from guards in this area. Super impressed by Asher so far.
Nelson double dribbles. That'll give the ball back to Green City as both teams will go to the bench for the first time. Green City will bring on Preston Balfany and one other player that I did not write down, I don't believe. And is Noah Tipton into the game.
Green City can't get complacent, especially with Bugs Tipton exiting the game and getting that break. You want to make sure that you're having a positive plus-minus while he's out to make sure that this lead stays the same.
Johnson baseline shot up, no, nearly stripped the rebound away from White. J.J. White, though, a nice athletic play, recovers it and gets it over to Mason Reed to settle things down for Atlanta. 13-5, Green City leading, halfway gone first quarter. White tries to penetrate, got cut off by Johnson. Throws it out high to a new man in the ball game for the Hornets. That's Brody Hatcher. Don't believe any relation there. Swing it back out top. Sawyer Nelson. Nelson weaves, tries to cut through the lane, puts up a shot, and that one's forced, no good. Offensive rebound, though, pulling the ball back out. Emery Mason in the game. Coach White really likes the set of reserves he brought in, particularly Emery Mason. Swing it back out high to Nelson. Nelson bounces back over to J.J. White. White gets separation from Johnson. Loose ball, Mason saves it. Driving through now, shot up, that's no good. Hitting the mats hard was Mason Reed. Salas races the other way for the Gophers. Salas, step back, mid-range jumper, that's pure. First points of the game for Xander Salas. He's their main outside shooting threat with Ty Hall out due to injury. It's a 15-5 Green City lead. Gophers in control early. Reed needs the three, misses off the back iron, skying for the rebound for Atlanta was Mason. It's batted out of bounds by a Green City player. That was Balfany. And wholesale changes on both ends, including mainly Green City.
This Atlanta's offense getting a little bit stagnant, looking a little bit too much for ball screens and ISO. If I'm Coach White, got to make sure we're setting screens away from the basketball, freeing up the motion offense, giving us many looks aside from just the typical ball screen.
Logan Gladhill, another one of those main reserves for Atlanta in. Shovels over for Mason. Good look, but can't get it to roll home. Rebound grab by Green City. Bugs Tipton starts to penetrate, pulls out, now drives in against 3 Hornets. Goes up, had the ball ripped away, but got knocked to the deck and fouled. And that'll be a foul on Mason Reed. No shot attempt there, and that is 2 team fouls on Atlanta in the early going, 3 on Green City. 2:26 to go in the first quarter. Green City up 15-5. Salas looks to inbound, throws out high to Bugs Tipton. Over left corner, 3-point attempt again. This one's off the front, no good. Rebound battled for, grabbed by Atlanta. Off the Green City miss by Ivan Littrell. Littrell just a sophomore for the Gophers. There's a right pocket three on the other end. That won't go down on a good look for Logan Gladhill. Rebounds tip, but the outlet finds Salas. Salas bounces down, left block layup, good for Preston Balfany. Beautiful find by Salas. 17-5 Green City, under 2 to go in the first quarter. Coach White trusting his team to get out of this early hole. There's a three-point attempt. That's off the back iron, no good from Hatcher. And the rebound grabbed by the Green City Gophers and drawing a foul in the process. That'll be going out on Emery Mason.
I know it's a pet peeve of a lot of coaches. You got to make sure you don't commit any fouls, especially not 80 to 90 feet away from the basket trying to get back on defense. And that's exactly what Green City wants. They want you to start committing fouls away from the baskets, especially with this lead. Make it a free throw game early. It's going to help out the Gophers.
12-point Green City advantage. Atlanta right now cold from the outside. Green City swings it around the perimeter. Balfany bounces down for Bugs Tipton. They swing it out high. Now Salas penetrates. Left elbow jumper falling away. No good. Crashing the boards for Green City was Ivan Littrell, but then he ends up fumbling the ball off his foot out of bounds. It's a good read, though, by the young sophomore Littrell.
And I just love the aggression that Littrell's had. He's a matchup nightmare for this Hornets team, and he's going to be a key factor in that rebound battle throughout the rest of this game.
With the basketball now for Atlanta, Grady Herska back into the game. Didn't really hear much of his name there from the start in this first quarter. Nelson drives in on three. Gophers puts up a shot, no good. Left it short off the front. Zipping a outlet pass is Balfany. Out to Bugs Tipton. Stutter step, drives through the lane and scoops it up and in. I have no idea how he just did that, Jacob.
A lot of speed, especially you were telling me a little bit about his track records as we have a shooting foul committed by the Gophers, as the Hornets are going to go to line to try to knock down two. But yeah, as you were telling me a little bit about, showing me some of those track records, and that's exactly why, especially on case here. If I'm Asher Bugs Tipton, I want them to make this a track race, because that's where I'm going to flourish. I want them to speed me up, making sure that there's no press on me, and he's got to be seeing nothing but green light out here.
First free throw is good for Grady Herska. He's got one more coming his way. Now, Bugs Tipton, a host of individual track titles. And of course, there was the team title for Green City in 2021, their first in program history. Most all of that track team was also on the boys basketball team and the baseball team for Green City. Quarterfinal appearance in basketball that season, and then a third place finish in state in baseball.
A lot of stolen bases, a lot of open layups, and why not? Why settle if you have this speed, this athleticism?
There's a three-pointer gunned up by Balfany, no good, but the rebound batted out of bounds by Atlanta. So it'll stay the Gophers' way with 35.2 to go in the first quarter. Green City leading 19-6 over Atlanta. Inbounds is stolen away, and a good read there by Mason Reed. Outlet ahead into an easy layup. That's a great job by Reed, turning defense into offense as Brody Hatcher finishes it off. Bugs Tipton almost traveled, gets it off to Harrison, who cans the three. Tristan Harrison from deep down the bench. 22-8 Green City. Reed, skip pass to Herska, left pocket three. That one's long, batted out of bounds by Harrison. It'll stay with Atlanta. 7.8 to go in the first quarter. All Green City up by 14, 22-8.
And if you're going to focus too many defenders on Bugs Tipton, this is where he's going to make you pay. Simple penetration and kick, and that's the type of offensive firepower he brings to this Gophers offense.
Hatcher, deep three now for White, no good. Two Gophers fight for the rebound, but able to rip it away as Harrison to avoid any further danger. And about as perfect of a first quarter as Coach KRES could ask for. Hot shooting on one end, solid defense on the other. Green City up 22-8, and we're back in 1 minute on Superstation KRES. Green City leading Atlanta at the end of the first quarter, and again, Jacob, couldn't be a much better start to this game for Coach Ayers and the Gophers.
100%. They're doing a really good job pushing the pace, controlling the tempo, controlling what happens in this game. And if I'm Coach White and the Atlanta Hornets team, especially with an early deficit, I know it's only a 13-point game, or a 14-point game rather, but you got to throw a couple different defensive looks, making sure you stop Bugs Tipton and this team.
Oh my goodness! What a finish by Grady Herska, falling down. I think he might have face planted on the floor, but was still able to flip it up and in as he was hitting the deck. Not sure that's how he drew it up, but it looked awesome. Now a wild shot goes down the other way. A high bank is good for Hatcher, who hit the deck. 24-10.
So they're going to call a technical warning on. They're going to call a warning on Caden Hatcher. I believe what had happened was when he fell to the ground, he kind of lifted his leg up. And I know that he wasn't going to try to trip anybody, but they're just going to curb that now, give it just a technical warning.
Probably not a bad idea for the officials given the nature of these two conference rivals. Miss on the other end by Atlanta. Long outlet, Salas down to Hatcher. Oh, probably passed up a shot and forced a pass in, intended for a teammate into a layup on the other end for the Hornets. Herska finishes it off.
And even though Green City's given up a couple possessions here, they're still pushing this tempo, pushing this pace, making Atlanta play their style of basketball. But Atlanta's doing a really good job forcing these turnovers.
Tipton, who was the intended target a moment ago, then throws one away into a transition bucket and a foul. Mason Reed hard to the rack on right wing. And just like that, in a minute 13, Atlanta has nearly matched their scoring total from the first quarter. They scored 8 in the first frame. They've got 6 here so far in the second, with Reed an opportunity to kick the extra points, so to speak.
And Green City's going to slow this game down, especially with the last couple of turnovers. Kind of take a page out of the girls' team and just making sure, no matter, obviously it's a game of runs. You got to make sure you're still focused in that.
24-15, it is Green City on top as Bugs Tipton draws a foul inside. That'll be the first team foul early on here on the Atlanta Hornets. Green City, a 14-point lead at the end of the first quarter, but Atlanta putting on a push here in the second. Inbounds, goes into a left pocket three for Caden Johnson. That one's long. Reed the rebound, scans up the floor. No one open for the long outlet. Reed looking to drive. Salas cuts him off, spins around Salas, puts up a shot falling away, won't fall through.
It seemed like he didn't know when he was up in the air if he wanted to go off glass or just shoot it normally, and I think that's why there was a miss there.
Salas step back jumper, no, but Caden Johnson able to outmuscle his man and sticks it back up and in. Caden Johnson, a good start for him early in this contest. Actually, that is his first points, beg my pardon. Bugs tipped in the big first quarter. There's a drive, crashing into a man shut up, no for Herska. Offensive rebound, Sawyer Nelson falling away. Throws one up, no, but draws the foul. And back to the free throw line will go the Hornets.
This is a really good start to this second quarter by this Hornets team. Going to the basket, chipping away. You're not going to get this lead, you're not going to get this deficit reversed by a couple possessions, but as long as you stay aggressive, keep going to the basket, this Hornets team can stay right back in it.
First free throw is up and no good. Actually, pardon me, is good for Sawyer Nelson. Second one also good. 26-16 now the score. Just over 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Hatcher drives, bounce pass down, left block, shot up, left short, offensive rebound, tipped in, stick back, can't go. Beg my pardon, that was Littrell who misses the bunny. Rebound grabbed at the Hornets and a chance to get this down to single digits. Trailing 26-16. Herska drives in, look away, puts it up and in. It's a single digit game, 26-18. And Coach Ayers is the one that ends up earning the first time out of the first half. 5:27 to go in the second quarter. It's 26-18 Green City, but Atlanta's got the push on. We'll take a 30-second break. You're listening to high school basketball on Superstation KRES. And we'll keep it here on KRES. 5:27 to go in the first half. 26-18 the score in favor of Green City, as out of the timeouts, Xander Salas will bring it across the timeline. Bounces over for Bugs Tipton. Bugs Tipton looks to drive, gets cut off by Reed, spins. Now to Caden Johnson. He has the ball stolen away by Sawyer Nelson. Chance for Atlanta to cut further into the deficit. Herska spinning, kick out, ball stolen, Bugs Tipton. Foot race, one-on-one against White, got around him. White rejects the shot. White racing the other way, 3-on-3, good find to Nelson. Left block layup, good. Looked one way, dished it the other way, Jacob. Now Hatcher weaves, Euro step around a man. That shot's blocked. Batted around, grabbed by the Hornets. Brody Hatcher comes up with it.
Almost threw it away, too.
Hatcher now gets caught in the lane. Wide open wraparound layup, good for Nelson. Another timeout for Coach Ayers. Sawyer Nelson on a tear. He's got 8 points. The deficit, just like that, goes from 14 down to 4. 26-22, 4:27 to go in the second quarter. And again, we'll try to take a break here. You're listening to high school basketball on Superstation KRES. Back in 30 seconds. And Moberly Area Community College. Once again, as always, I'd like to thank our sponsors for being a part of the broadcast. Salas gives over for Caden Hatcher. Now goes to Hatcher, Bugs Tipton. Back over to Salas, gets a screen from Bugs Tipton. Pull up jumper at the free throw line. Needed it and got it.
Needed it is quite the understatement. Really good pull-up jumper. That's a pro jumper from Salas.
Now a moving screen is going to get called on the other end. Kevin Spearman and a hip check. Bugs Tipton. Looked like the right call there, as he was pretty clearly still moving. So the illegal screen will give Green City the basketball back off the turnover.
And
28-22 the score.
I was just going to say, so Green City is doing a really good job of, yes, they played a really bad last couple minutes, but their composure, especially out of timeouts, doing a really good job of answering from these Hornets possessions.
There's a mid-range jumper by Salas. He gets fouled up in the air, and that'll be 2 free throws for the Green City Gophers. Their first trip to the free throw line in this game so far.
You love the run that this Atlanta Hornets team went on, capitalizing off of mistakes, capitalizing off of turnovers, doing a really good job, especially playing off of this wonderful crowd we have here at this Atlanta high school. And for the Gophers, just make sure you just stay composed. They're doing a really good job with decision-making, not the last couple minutes, but basketball is a game of runs, and they're doing a really good job of staying composed while Atlanta's going to fight to try to claw their way back into this game.
Salas hits on both free throws, 30-22. Green City back up by 8. Good little 4-0 response out of the second timeout from Coach Ayers. With the basketball for Atlanta, it's J.J. White. Dishes over Herska. Backs down a man, kicks back out to Hatcher. Tries a 3, that's no good. Long rebound, comes right to Mason Reed. Skip past the right corner, 3-ball, that one connects. Knocking it down, J.J. White, his second triple of the night. 30-25, Green City. Feed to the left wing, slowing it up will be Hatcher. Tosses back out high to Tipton. Now goes to Salas. Salas, step back, thought about the 3. Throws over to Bugs Tipton. He's got 2 Hornets on him. Now heaves a pass overhead. Straight across, that goes to Balfany. Balfany, left pocket, 3, high arcer. Off the back iron, no good. Long rebound. It is Sawyer Nelson the other way. Nelson through the lane, falling away right side, got it to fall again. Sawyer Nelson having himself a quarter. It's a 1-possession game, 30-27 Green City. Hatcher drives, look away, puts up a leaner in the lane and got it to go.
Phenomenal poise, especially down low. Great up and under with the 2 points.
Now ball picked off. Balfany the other way. 32-25 Green City. Hatcher, dump off, right block, layup finished off for the Gophers. Noah Tipton with his first points of the game. Punch and counter punch. Gophers back up by 7, 34-27. Reed gives in the right corner to Herska. Now they'll work it back out high. Seapoy's catch with Hatcher. Reed nearly stripped to the basketball. He is. Salas comes up with it. Doesn't have the numbers. So pulls up though. Mid-range jumper. Cans it from 12 feet out on the right wing.
Man, I am thoroughly impressed with his ability to get to the basket, create space, rise up. Like, that is as pro of a dribble pull-up as it gets.
And not easy with him being the point guard in this offense. He does a lot for this Green City offense, along with Bugs Tipton. Leads back to 9 for Green City. Herska passes up a 3. Plays catch of Hatcher. Now curls between the rings. Gives over Nelson. He's had the hot hand. Drives. Cuts it back out. 3-ball. Hatcher. Yes, sir. First triple of the night for Brody Hatcher. 5-point game. Bugs Tipton nearly loses the ball. Drives through. Bump off. Gets it to rattle home. First points of the second quarter for Asher Bugs Tipton.
That went from disaster to masterclass with just really good reflexes from Bugs Tipton.
Herska again between the rings, dumps off to Nelson. Nelson, pump fake, gives back to Herska. Down to 45 seconds for the quarter. Herska's shot partially blocked. Nelson getting bumped out of bounds, tries to save it and was unable to. That'll give back to Green City. As really, I say he was getting bumped out, but really it was just a box out there by Caden Hatcher.
Really good box out. I know that's going to be a clip of emphasis for the next couple months just in terms of how to box out 101.
Tell you what, that is something we were impressed by with the way the Green City Lady Gophers played, and the boys matching that. They're back up by 8. They've led by as many as 14. Balfany to the rack, lays it up and in. Second bucket of the game for Preston Balfany. 40-30, Green City back up by 10. They've responded out of the timeouts from Coach Ayers. Leaner in the lane will fall through for Mason Reed. He's got 5, all in the second quarter. 40-32, see if Green City holds for the last shot. Salas to Balfany. Bounces now for Hatcher. Back over to Salas, down to 5 seconds. Salas down to 3. Get a man hanging in the air. Pull up mid-range jumper again. This time misses off the side. And that brings us to the end of a thrilling first half. Good response for Atlanta. Down by as many as 14. They cut it to 3. Green City, though, peels the lead back up, or builds the lead back up to 8. 40-32, the advantage at the half. And we'll be speaking here in just a moment with the head coach of the Green City Lady Gophers in Nick Edwards. In the meantime, let's take a 30-second break. You're listening to high school basketball on Superstation KRES.
Yeah, and we're going to see that unfold here, and it's shaping up to be a really good second half.
40-32, it is Green City leading Atlanta, and they've got the basketball going left to right on the radio dial. Johnson gives over Bugs Tipton, bounces down, kick out by Littrell, drive Hatcher baseline, he gets cut off. They continue to weave, Johnson back out for Hatcher. Hatcher now to Salas. Salas, drive, fall away, jumper, right wing, swish. Just so smooth with that shooting stroke.
And trying to prevent the other team from making a comeback, you're really going to love to have shots like that in your favor.
Couple steps inside the arc and knocking the shot down is J.J. White, 8 points for him. But again, probably looking for a little bit more production is Coach White here in the second half from J.J. White. Work it over on left wing. Salas gets a screen out high from Hatcher. Pulls up right elbow, this time guarded tightly. Throws a baseline, now back out. Drive in Hatcher, bump off, that shot rattles down. Strong finish from the senior Caden Hatcher. He's into double figures with 11 points. The player that Coach Ayers is looking for more out of on the offensive end. He's getting it tonight in a big game. Reed misses the jumper short, and the Gophers bring it the other way. Caden Hatcher feeds over on left wing. It goes to Caden Johnson. Johnson pulls up left wing. Now stumbling and traveling is Caden Hatcher. Just slipped right at the top of the key there.
Hey, you good. You good.
And Atlanta's doing something interesting. They're going to sag off a couple different shooters to try to focus on Salas and Bugs Tipton. And it's a good strategy right now, but we're going to see if this continues throughout the course of the second half.
Reed throws up a wild shot, gets rejected by Johnson. He races the other way. Pump fake, got White in the air, shot up, no, stick back, rattles down for Asher Bugs Tipton. Bugs Tipton with 2 more to his name. He had 10 in the first quarter, held to just 2 in the second. Big to get him going to start the third quarter for Green City. Lead back to 12 for Green City. Biggest it's been tonight is 14. Reed stuck along the baseline, works it back out high. Now goes over to Herska. Herska pull up, drops down, look away, White, fade away, jumper in the lane, and that flushes right on through. Good finish from J.J. White, he's up to 10 points. Salas drives in the lane. Little shovel pass over to Johnson, gets back to Salas. Mid-range jumper, left pocket, that's no good. Rebound tipped around, Bugs Tipton corrals it and sticks it back up and in for 2 more.
And this kind of like pack line defense that the Atlanta Hornets are running, it's really, really good, but you got to mix up where your defense is coming from, especially with the athleticism of Bugs Tipton.
NBA range 3 fired down by J.J. White. He's heating up here in the third quarter with 7 quick points.
If I'm Atlanta, though, I'm going to try to play every type of defense as another three answered right back. That's going to come from Caden Hatcher. But no, you were saying?
Yeah, Caden Hatcher draining the three there in the right corner. 51-39 is a blocking foul. Gets called out high. White colliding into Bugs Tipton. That's the first foul on Asher. And a couple subs for Coach Ayers as Tipton and Balfany will re-enter for Bugs Tipton and Caden Johnson. Inbounds White, sends a pass across for Sawyer Nelson. Nelson drives in, pass tipped out of bounds by a Green City player. That was Tipton. He was trying to find a teammate, Herska, back in the right corner. Herska inbounds, gives it over to White. White curls back out high, looking for Reed. It's Green City right now extending out their defense. White swings it over for Hatcher. Brody Hatcher fought about the three, got closed down quickly though. That was Littrell out on him. White dribbles off his own foot, recovers near the timeline. Slower possession, ball nearly stolen by Salas, recovered by Herska. 51-39, Green City waiting. White tries a three. That one's long and off the iron, no good. Long outlet on the defensive rebound. They kick back out. Hatcher, spin move in the lane, puts it up and scores again. Caden Hatcher, a big second half out for Coach Jason White. 53-39 Green City. We will take a break here. You're listening to high school basketball on Superstation KRES with 4:06 to go in the third quarter, and Green City back up by 14 back in 60 seconds.
And because, Colin, this game is kind of like slipping away from the Hornets just a little bit, it wouldn't shock me if on made baskets they're going to look to any type of 1-2-2 or anything like to that extent when it comes to a full court press defense. Just making sure you're combating this lead. You want to start chipping away, and this game is starting to get out of control for the Hornets.
There's a three-point attempt by Nelson, no good off the front, and the rebound grabbed by the Green City Gophers. With the ball, it is Noah Tipton into a three-point attempt from Hatcher, no good. He had the hot hand, but that heat check doesn't go down. Long outlet by White. Nelson gathers it in. Now they'll slow it up out high. Herska over to Nelson in the right corner. Tries to penetrate, got cut off by Caden Hatcher. Now bounces to the high post, turning is Brody Hatcher for Atlanta. Now it's Herska. A little look away, trying to find an open man. The Green City Lady Gophers making some noise across the way. With it now is Brody Hatcher. Back out to J.J. White. Right now, Atlanta not finding a lot of room to maneuver here against this Green City defense. J.J. White tries to drive baseline, stepped on the baseline, out of bounds and back to the Gophers. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Green City is back in firm control of this ball game, up by 14 points. They led by 14 at the end of the first quarter. There's a bounce pass down, and going up and drawing the foul is Noah Tipton. He'll go to the line for 2 free throws for Green City.
The Gophers are staying aggressive. That's really all you can ask for, at least at this point in the ball game. Building on that lead, continuing to do what works, kicking it on the outside, driving back down, and you're going to be rewarded with more aggression as they're going to increase this lead from the charity stripe.
At the line, Noah Tipton puts up the first shot, and that one's off the front, no good. It's a Green City team that does not shoot a lot of free throws, 33 of 50 at the line for 66%. That was coming into the game, and Green City had only 2 attempts prior to this. Second one is good by Tipton, so 3 of 4 on the night. Kind of hard to believe considering this is a Green City team that likes to go inside a lot of times. You'd think they'd be at the free throw line a little bit more. There's a drive by Nelson, spins, tough shot up, no. He shuffled his feet, it's a travel, and the ball goes back to Green City. 54-39, Gophers in control. Couple subs here as Anders Salas is gonna get a well-deserved breather on Coach Ayers' bench. Bringing the ball up the floor is Hatcher. Bounces down for Preston Balfany. Now it's Bugs Tipton. Bounces down, left block, shot up, no. A foul, though, and back to the free throw line goes Green City again. As going to the line here will be Ivan Littrell, the sophomore, who has yet to score tonight, but really not for a lack of trying.
And really good composure by Bugs Tipton, especially in that face of that zone defense. There's the second he catches the ball, there's about 2 to 3 to 4 defenders in his face. His ability to pass through that tight window is in large part why they're ahead in this ball game.
Littrell hit the first free throw, misses the second one off the back iron. Rebound collected by Atlanta. Emery Mason back into the game. Coach White has not gone to the bench a ton in this contest. Logan Gladhill works it over to Reed. Back out to Gladhill. Bounce pass over to to Emery Mason. Spins, gets knocked to the deck, and that'll be a foul on Green City. Foul goes on Caden Hatcher, his third personal. And that could be something to keep an eye on here with the role Hatcher has been playing throughout the night here for Green City.
And for Green City, they're doing a really good job of doing the opposite of what they did in the second quarter. Was the crowd has not been a factor in this second half at all. And the less turnovers that they commit, the less of an opportunity that there is to keep Atlanta in this game. You quiet the crowd, it's going to be that much easier to get this win.
55-39 the advantage. Nelson drives in, wild shot, but he gets hammered going up in the air with that shot. And that'll be 2 free throws on the other end for Sawyer Nelson, who comes up clutching his wrist.
Yeah, it kind of landed on that left wrist when he was falling on the floor, but he will power through nonetheless.
Foul went on Preston Balfany. 2 free throws for Sawyer Nelson, who's had himself a very good second quarter of 8 points, 10 for the game. Came into play tonight for the Hornets, averaging 10.6 points per game. Second free throw is no good off the back iron. Lane violation anyway. We'll wipe that one out. I want to thank our sponsors for being a part of the broadcast. Green City R1 Schools of Green City. Farm Bureau agent Kellen Hatcher of Sullivan County. Also want to thank the Atlanta C3 School District and the Hunting Corner of Monroe City. 55-39 the score in favor of Green City, and they've got the basketball after the 2 misses from Nelson at the free throw line. Put the ball over to the corner, Caden Johnson. Now driving in, bump off, shot by Littrell, too strong. Offensive rebound, and Johnson sticks it back up and in, his second bucket of the game. 4 points for Johnson out of the starting role tonight. J.J. White, big bump off on Bugs Tipton to clear space. Now it is Brody Hatcher driving in, kicks back out. Herska looks to penetrate, meets 2 Gophers. Back out now to Hatcher. Weaves again with Herska. Nothing going for Atlanta offensively here in the third quarter. Drive in now, fall away jumper is blocked. Coming up with a swat was Noah Tipton. Ball stolen back away, Emery Mason for 3. That's no good. Ball is volleyballed up in the air and knocked down by a Hornet. J.J. White, they swing it back over. Sidestep, 3-ball, Logan Gladhill off the back iron, no good. And Bugs Tipton will settle it down for Green City. Up for Sawa, sips a pass across. Left block layup, good. Noah Tipton was all alone for the easy deuce.
No look, driving to the right, finishing with the left. Fantastic pass. That's going to be the pass of today.
59-39, now a pass thrown into the crowd by J.J. White. Nothing going in the half court for Atlanta, held to 7 points here in the third quarter.
And their good habits is the reason why this is a 20-point lead towards the end of this third quarter. They're doing a really good job sticking with what's working, staying aggressive, keeping the foot on the gas pedal.
I think it's safe to say for Coach Ayers, halftime came at the right time to get everything recollected and maybe take a little bit of the wind out of Atlanta's sails, and they've completely left them stuck adrift here in the third quarter. Under 10 seconds to go, Salas dribbles out high. Now they work it down low, left block layup, good again for Noah Tipton. Different guy each time, heaved by White, hits the rafters as the horn sounds. All Green City in the third quarter, up 61-39 as we head to the fourth and final quarter.
Away for for a brief moment, so we're going to have some play-by-play courtesy of yours truly as Colin steps back in, with Atlanta rather maintaining possession to start this game, or to start this quarter rather. J.J. White over to the right side, kicks it back over to Grady Herska, and a turnover by the Hornets. Green City comes back down the other way. Here's Salas over to Hatcher. Hatcher driving, kick it out. We have a three-pointer off the mark, no good by Tristan Harrison. Offensive rebound controlled by the Gophers. Salas.
Let's go.
Top of the key. Over to the right corner, another three, this time by Harrison is off the mark again. So 0-2 on the back-to-back threes as the Hornets come back down the other end. Colin, all you, my man.
Let's go.
All right, we are back here on Superstation KRES as it is 61-39 advantage for the Green City Gophers, and they have the ball going left to right on the radio dial. Jacob, thank you for filling in there as we sorted some things off the air here.
If anybody's asking, I was lost without you. I just want to say both emotionally and physically.
I didn't want to leave you too long, but I had to leave for just a moment.
Of course.
It was just a quick sub out there.
Well, one of the things I was talking about while you had stepped away is obviously I don't have the advanced analytics at my disposal, but if I had to take a guess as the percentage of points that Bugs Tipton and Salas are responsible for, you gotta say maybe 80% of this offense has come through that backcourt. They have been impressive in more ways than one.
There's a spin around jumper in the lane that falls through for Grady Herska. And for the Atlanta Hornets, should be noted they scored just 7 points in the third quarter. Those all came from J.J. White, all pretty early in that third quarter. So Herska breaks up a long scoring drought. 61-41, Green City on top. There's a bounce pass down, and then getting stripped of the basketball is Tipton, able to save it, and as he throws it to a teammate, into a timeout for Coach Ayers. It'll be a full timeout with 6:10 to go here in the fourth quarter. We will take a 1-minute break here on Superstation KRES and come back with more. Stay tuned. You're listening to high school basketball.
Let's go. Let's go.
For the Green City Gophers, and they have the ball going left to right on the radio dial. Jake, thank you for filling in there. Sorted some things out.
If anybody's asking, I
didn't want to leave you too long, but I had to leave for just a moment. It was just a quick sub out there.
Let's go! Let's go! Hey, let's go, boys! Come on! Let's go! Let's
Noted they scored just 7 in the third quarter. Those all came from J.J. 61-41, Green City leading the Atlanta Hornets as they work it around the timeline, or around the arc rather. Drive and a kick out now. They'll swing it into the lane. Hatcher, that's Caden Hatcher, throws back out to Tipton. Tipton right now getting some extended playing time the way he played down the stretch in the third quarter. A feed over right block attempt by Ivan Littrell, no good, but he draws the foul and will go to the line for 2 more free throws after splitting a pair back in the third quarter for his first point of the game. And hadn't gotten into it too much. Ivan Littrell, the younger brother of Brooke Littrell, who pretty much set every record imaginable at Green City, up over 3,000 points for high school career, and now leading the University of Central Missouri Jennies in scoring this season at 18.9 points per game. They're off to a 8-0 start. Littrell misses on, or makes the first free throw, misses the second one. Rebound collected by Atlanta, 62-41. Emery Mason tries to drive, gets cut off, shuffles his feet, and that's a travel right back to Green City. And one of the things, Jacob, when Coach Ayers took the job last season, he really wanted to make defense his focus with Green City. Didn't necessarily always come last season, but that's been the biggest thing he's been pleased by this season. I think we're seeing why.
I think so too, and especially consistency has been the key factor as to why this defense is getting better and better. So especially with a new head coach, new personnel, you don't know exactly what you have throughout all facets of the season, but whatever they were doing in August and September is definitely working tonight.
For a Green City team, they were going to come in motivated after losing that La Plata tournament title. It's something Coach Ayers mentioned that really felt like it helped that team along the line as far as just learning from some of the mistakes. They got sloppy, they learned from it, and you add in the other motivation. This is a team, they reached the quarterfinals last season. Emery Mason hits a layup to make it 62-43 Green City, but that was 3 straight losses in the quarterfinals for Green City last season when they were defeated by Platte Valley up in St. Joseph. This is a team that is motivated to finally get over the hump and get to the Final Four in boys basketball. Well, there is the good thing for Coach Ayers, he said it himself, was I don't have to really tell these guys much of anything to motivate them. The motivation's already there.
No, the energy has been really consistent throughout this entire evening. The bench has brought it both in the girls' game and in the boys' game right here. The fans have definitely brought the energy. Even the guys standing to my right have brought the energy tonight.
They've really brought the energy since they came over here at the end of the first half. Hatcher with 2 free throws coming his way after getting fouled. What a night Hatcher's had as he knocks down the first free throw. Again, he's been really the grinding bulldog over the years for Green City as really one of the senior leaders. But Coach Ayers challenged him at the start of the season, produced more offensively, came in a little bit up this season at 6.8 points per game, but that average is going up for Hatcher as he hits on both free throws here. This has just been a tremendous game from him both ends of the floor. 64-43 Green City leading. Here's a mid-range jumper from right wing, no good from Mason Reed, and the rebound ripped down by Balfany. Tosses up ahead to Tipton, and now to Salas. Xander Salas glides through the lane, gives off Hatcher. Now the right corner, Tipton, back over Hatcher. Hatcher bounces to Tipton, back to Hatcher. Pull-up jumper in the lane, off the back iron, no good, and the rebound grabbed by Sawyer Nelson. Hatcher bugs Tipton, who did pretty much all his damage in the first quarter back in. That's maybe the more telling thing for Green City. It's not just the performance they've done tonight. It's different guys, and the fact their top 3-point shooting threat is out injured for the foreseeable future.
It's really a really added bonus, and you just got to make you feel good if you're the Gophers going forward. And what's been impressive to me tonight is even in a 20-point lead, they're still, especially with those reserves getting a lot of minutes, as the ball's going to tip out of bounds, it's going to stay with Atlanta. The Gophers are doing a really good job of still hunting really good shots even when they're up 20. They're not settling for anything. They're not playing comfortable with the lead, and that goes to the discipline that Coach Ayers has set with this program.
There's a shot up, no good, but a foul drawn by Brody Hatcher. So Brody Hatcher, the freshman, is going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots. For Coach Jason White, a tough night with the girls losing 60-47 and the boys looking like they are going to drop to 5-3. But I think if you're looking for some positives, Brody Hatcher's provided a pretty good spark for you off the bench tonight.
He has.
As a freshman.
He's been playing really, really well. And that depth scoring is a coach's dream, especially at the high school level where it's not guaranteed. You're going to take anything you get.
Hatcher made the first free throw, misses the second one off the heel. Rebound Salas, throws it up ahead for Hatcher, down to Bugs Tipton. 2 Hornets on him, and a third moving towards him. That just left Hatcher open for another three-pointer. Third three-pointer of the night for Caden Hatcher. On the other end, Herska misses a runner in the lane. Rebound grabbed by Caden Hatcher, gives over to Salas. Back to Hatcher. I don't know, I'd say he probably should have shot that as soon as he grabbed it there, Jacob.
Especially the way that he's been shooting it tonight. I think any look is a great look.
And there's the Asher Bugs
look.
Tipton show. Tornado spinorama move, and he lays it up and in as easy as you like.
Especially from the free throw line extended. I might have to ask him how he does that. I might have to start getting tips from him post-game.
I mean, he's so fast, and yet he's so in control out there. It's just absolutely impressive. You know, not at the high school level. You don't see that until really Division I college level a lot of times.
Exactly.
Three-point attempt hits the heel for Herska. Rebound grabbed by Green City, up 69-44. With under 2.5 to go. Brody Hatcher, the steal. Bump off, shut up, no, but he'll draw the foul as Balfany crashed into him. And Brody Hatcher back to the line for 2 more free throws for the Hornets.
The reason why this lead keeps extending and extending is Atlanta almost seems defeated just based off of their shot selection alone. Compared to Green City, you wouldn't think that Green City was up in this game, just the way that they've controlled everything really, really well from top to bottom.
For the Atlanta Hornets, this has been a gradual progression over the 5 years now that Coach Jason White has been in charge, as they won their first district title since 1998, reached the quarterfinals before getting bounced by Glasgow in a very tightly contested game last year at MACC. There's not a lot of times that Coach White has been frustrated, although he does mention the third place game loss they had to Grundy County was a bit of a sore spot. But going to be interesting how Atlanta builds back from this game, as they have taken a licking here tonight from their conference rivals. Right elbow jumper rolls on home for Asher Bugs Tipton. 2 more points for him. 71-46 after Brody Hatcher hit on both free throws a moment ago. Another new man into the game for Atlanta then is Lathan Carr, another player that Coach White very high on the future of him as a freshman. There's a fadeaway jumper by J.J. White. That one horseshoes off. And the rebound collected again by Preston Balfany. Balfany, tall and lanky. He is a matchup problem coming off the bench for Coach Ayers. Fall-away shot by Salas won't go down. White the rebound. Bump off. Fadeaway jumper right wing. Left it short as he hits the deck. Rebound collected on the other end by Noah Tipton. Up for Salas. Hesitation move, bump off, muscles it up and in. We've seen the mid-range game from Xander South. They're showing the inside game a little bit.
And this is going to be where the bench players enter for Green City, rather, and kind of signaling the end of this game as we're seeing some reserve players, some JV players getting into the game, and such a positive to see at any time that a team gets to empty their bench. I know everybody's going to be happy on that bus ride back.
73-46 after that make by Salas. Try to get you all the names in for Green City. Among them, Deegan Wood in. Also have Aiden Campbell into the ball game. Jaden O'Haver, that's the younger brother of Grant O'Haver, had a terrific run with the basketball and baseball programs at Green City. There's a shot up that is no good for Atlanta. And now a deep 3 fired up. Logan Gladhill, really one of the regular players still in for the Hornets. Tristan Harrison racing the other way. He hit that big 3-pointer in the second quarter. He's got it. He'll try another one from the left corner. That's no good. And the rebound collected on the other side by Lathan Carr. Slowing it up now is Landon Gladhill. Now they work it over to Carter Christensen, who's into the game. Here's a bump off, shot up and unable to get it to roll home is Trace Phelps. Recollected though by the Hornets. They'll leave out high. Drive, shot up, that won't go for Logan Gladhill. Rebound grabbed by the Gophers. Driving in for Green City, Aiden Campbell gives over in the right corner. Now they swing it out to Deegan Wood, as Green City is just going to let time expire. Green City had to take a couple punches from Atlanta in the second quarter. They saw a 14-point advantage, get whittled down to 3, built it back up to 8, and then rolled in the second half. Final score, Green City 73, Atlanta 46. Postgame coming up in 2 minutes here on Superstation KRES. Stay tuned.
Not many things, but a
Colin Shoey and Jacob Robinson back with us here on Superstation KRES as we begin to wrap up our coverage here on the post game on Superstation KRES, and a big Tri-County North doubleheader ends up being 2 big black and gold W's for the Green City Lady Gophers and Gophers. The Green City girls winning earlier tonight 60-47 over Atlanta, and then the Green City boys ramped up the heat in the second half as they absolutely smothered Atlanta, held them to 14 points in that second half, and conversely scored 33, so 33-14 in the second half to end up rolling to a 73-46 victory. Colin Shoey, Jacob Robinson back to wrap things up. Some final comments. Let's run through the individual scoring from this game as Green City wins this one by a count of 73-46. On the boys' side, they were led by Asher Bugs Tipton with 22 points. Caden Hatcher had 19. Xander Salas with 12. 7 points for Noah Tipton. 4 for Preston Balfaney. 4 for Caden Johnson. 3 for Tristan Harrison. And 2 for Ivan Littrell. For the Atlanta Hornets, J.J. White, 15 points. Sawyer Nelson, 10. 7 points for the freshman Brody Hatcher, who is cousins with Caden Hatcher. We got that confirmed. Also, 7 points tonight for Grady Herska. 2 for Emery Mason in the contest, and that wraps up the scoring for Green City and Atlanta. And let's parlay that into our outstanding player of the game here on the on the boys' side. Brought to you by Freeman Financial and Insurance LLC. For your asset protection and financial service needs, they offer custom solutions for essential circumstances. And while Asher Bugs Tipton did lead Green City in scoring, Caden Hatcher really is the one I felt like, Jacob, that carried Green City in this one. Great two-way game between the scoring he put up tonight and then just the defense he played and the presence on the boards as well for Green City.